Oh man, oh man. Not again. I told you guys, this beef that was going on and these bold statements that Drake and Kendrick were making towards each other, they were gonna have to scrap it out. They were gonna have to throw their hands because they were throwing out some crazy allegations. But now in this video right here, which is crazy, we have shooting outside of Drake's mansion in Toronto. So we're about to watch this 4-minute. I haven't watched any of it yet. We're about to watch this for the first time together. We're about to figure out what's going on and see if this has any affiliation to do with Kendrick and it actually going further than just some rap. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to watch this video, and then I see this one suggested over here. Police providing update on shooting outside of Drake's house. So we're going to watch both of these. So get your little snacky snack, sit back, relax, hit the subscribe button. 80% of the people watching my videos multiple times haven't subscribed yet. Don't be that type of person, you feel what I'm saying? Let's get this video to at least 500,673 likes, some like. Let's get straight into this, man.
Breaking news out of Toronto. A shooting has occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake. The incident occurring in the wake of Drake's ongoing beef with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar. CP24's Courtney Heels is on the scene with more. Courtney, we see the police tape behind you. What more can you tell us?
Good morning, Marcy. I can tell you there is a pretty heavy police presence along this road. This is Park Lane Circle. It's the street that Drake lives on. This is as close to the scene as we can get. You can see they have a Toronto police van here, a couple of officers blocking the road, also yellow police tape here too. Now, Chopper 24, that's our newsroom helicopter, was able to get over Drake's home.
I did see some titles saying that Drake's security guard was actually shot and had to go to the hospital
earlier. And in that video, we saw some yellow police tape in the courtyard of his home. Also some people going in and out of the house. And as you reported, that CP24 reporting there is a source confirming there was a shooting outside of his home. We do not know if Drake was home at the time. And this is all happening in the wake of this ongoing feud with another artist, Kendrick Lamar. We don't know if there's a connection here just yet. We are in touch with Toronto Police to see if they can share any more on this investigation. They are staying pretty tight-lipped, but what I can also tell you, police are sharing that they are investigating a shooting in this general area where we are. This is the Bridle Path neighborhood. Police say they were called to the Lawrence and Bayview area at about 2 in the morning. That's really close to where we are. At that time, that was a shooting investigation, and police and paramedics told us a man, an adult, was rushed to hospital with serious injuries, and they were still looking for a suspect seen leaving the area. Now, we've reached out to police to see, okay, is that shooting that was clearly very close to that connected to this one? They're just not saying just yet. We expect an update on this pretty soon, especially given the attention this is getting this morning right now. But the latest on this breaking news, a shooting outside of Drake's home happened sometime overnight. We don't have any further details. We don't know if the artist was there, but this is a pretty significant police presence in this neighborhood. Marcia, as I say, this is as close as we can get. I was actually on the other side of the road here, and again, entirely blocked off by cruisers, and we can not really see from this vantage point, but our chopper overhead was able to show us police in the courtyard of the home, and there's some yellow police tape up there too.
Okay, you've hit a couple of key points that I wanted to follow up on.
Imagine like Drake is just like setting all of this up for him to drop another diss track or something like that. I would not be surprised that he would set this big shebang up to, I don't know. Comment that down below. Do y'all think this has any affiliation to do with Kendrick? Do y'all think Drake probably just set this up to probably drop another diss track or something like that? Or do you think it was just a random shooting? Someone just attacking him? What do y'all think?
So we don't know exactly what time the shooting occurred, Courtney?
No, and we're kind of going off of the other update from Toronto Police with that suggestion that they did investigate a shooting overnight at about 2 in the morning in the Bayview and Lawrence area. And again, they're not saying, okay, that's close enough to hear this is the same shooting, just not yet. They're staying pretty quiet on this one, so we're just waiting to get more information. But we do know this happened at the very least overnight, because first thing this morning, this is what neighbors in this residential area, I guess you could say, this is a very affluent neighborhood that we're in. They woke up to this heavy police presence and obviously a lot of questions about what happened too.
Yeah, and to that, and I know you've just arrived on the scene, and for our viewers across the country, you kind of touched on it there too. This is an affluent neighborhood, but it's pretty open. Yeah. Everybody knew where Drake lived. Yeah. There is a lot of space between the houses. The homes are mansions. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone? Are people able to leave the neighborhood and drive out? Are things blocked off? Set more of the scene for us there, please. Again, for the benefit of our viewers across the country who aren't familiar with this area, we know in Toronto is the bridle path.
Yeah, so anybody who lives in the Toronto area likely is pretty familiar with this neighborhood.
Bro, when are they ever gonna fix that delay from like the person inside the news to the person reporting? I feel like we in 2024, that thing needs to get fixed, bro. Like it needs to be a little bit more sharp. Before it used to be really bad. They working on it still. They still working on it.
The country who aren't familiar with this area, we know in Toronto is the bridle path.
Yeah, so anybody who lives in the Toronto area likely is pretty familiar with this neighborhood, bridle path, big mansions. It's a gorgeous neighborhood, a lot of space between these homes too. In terms of the actual location where Drake lives as well, it is well known. A lot of people know he lives on this street right behind me here. As for talking to neighbors, I haven't just yet. Keep in mind, it's not as simple as kind of knocking on doors. I mean, I literally have to go up giant driveways, and I will do that. We just arrived here because this is a story that really broke only 45 minutes or so ago. So we wanted to get here, of course, first to give you this perspective. There are...
All right, let's get straight into this update right here from this police officer.
Let's take you live now to the Bridle Path area where police are updating their investigation just outside Drake's home. Let's listen in live.
Pleased to be here today. I know there's a lot of interest in this incident, and I hope you can also appreciate that information is very limited at this time, so I only have so much. What I do know, I will advise you of, and I will take a few questions at the end. This morning at about 2 a.m., police were called to a shooting at the residence behind me here. When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound.
Sheesh.
That male was taken to hospital in serious condition.
It's getting serious, yeah.
That person was working apparently as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation. I cannot speak to a motive at this time because it's so early, but as we get information, we will share it with you. Anyone with information is asked to call 416-808-2510 or Crime Stoppers. You can expect to see an increased presence in this neighborhood for the next little while, but it's no different than any other shooting or firearm discharge. We'll have officers here looking for witnesses to come forward, as well as we canvassing for video. I'll now take a few questions.
They have to have a video.
I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating.
To what extent is the rat beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar part of the investigation focus?
So I am aware of what you're talking about, but it is so early in the investigation that we don't have a motive at this time, and so I cannot comment further on that.
While the motive may not be confirmed, if that is something that you're looking at, knowing that this beef crosses borders into the U.S., is there anything being done in the investigation to maybe prevent a potential suspect from leaving Canada?
So this is no different than any other investigation, okay? Like, it's maybe more high profile because there's more people here, but we treat it like any other incident. So we'll be using all our resources. Our teams will be doing as much as they can to investigate this, but it'll be no different than any other investigation.
Bro, what if this is all staged by Drake and he's like literally paying this dude off just to, you know, make everything seem much more real? I don't know. I'll be thinking beyond just the news reports and stuff like that. And I really want to know what y'all think about this. Do y'all think that he would do something like that? You know, because this right here is kind of going to take away, like the attention that he's getting from taking an L from Kendrick just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's taken away from that. And maybe he's setting this up for like another diss track or something.
This time.
The man who was shot still in serious condition. Have you been able to talk to him? Has he not been able to give you a suspect description? And how is there no video yet of the car that fled?
So I can tell you that all I'm going to say about the victim is that he's still in the hospital in serious condition. And I'm not going to just. No, I'm not going to at this time.
This is obviously a very well-to-do neighborhood. There's likely a lot of video around. Have you guys begun your canvassing? Do you expect to get a good amount of video involved with this?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I can say that we've already collected some video evidence which captures the incident.
You said suspects plural. Can you say, are we talking 2, 3?
We need to get that video evidence, yeah. We need to get that video evidence.
More specifically, to stop and open fire.
I'm not going to get into specifics about the investigation at this time, just that a vehicle was involved and then fled the scene.
With law enforcement elsewhere, like Los Angeles, in the United States?
That will be part of our investigation, but again, we're very early on.
How did the 911 call come in? Who made it?
I don't have that information.
Was this security guard alone, or were there other security guards here too?
I don't
Who
have
made that 911 call?
In the incident, did it look like the security guard was the target? Were they trying to get past him?
Investigator Timothy Johnson, I know your job is to investigate. I feel like that's the most basic information. Who made that call, my guy? Come on now. It's kind of crucial. Because that's a witness in itself.
Don't know.
Come on. He knows that one.
Don't know at this time.
You said you have video capturing the incident?
Yes.
The actual shooting?
Yes.
And you can't give us a description of the vehicle?
Nope, not at this time.
Because you don't want to release it?
No, because we're dealing with video quality issues, correct? So we, as we have information and we're able to analyze video better, then we'll be able to provide more information.
He needs to stop the cap. There's something fishy There's something fishy going on around here. You know what I'm saying? There's something real fishy going on around here. Investigator Timothy Johnson needs to get his stuff together. No cap though. Talking about you have video evidence, but you can't give one description on the car. Was it black? Did it have 4 wheels? Was it an SUV, a car, something? Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Something going on around here, bruh. Something fishy going on.
As we have information and we're able to analyze video better, then we'll be able to provide more information.
You mentioned that the shooting occurred outside the gates, but there are markers inside your garage, and there's an area cordoned off there. Would shell casings have gone that far? Why would that?
I haven't even walked up to the scene, so I can't comment. Oh, thank you.
Do we know how many shots were fired?
No, that's going to be part of the investigation. Can't comment at this time. Thank you very much.
Is it gang related?
That concludes today's conference.
Ain't no way he just pulled that off. Ain't no way he just pulled that off.
Paul Kotchuk, the spelling is...
He said, I'll give you all the information I know, and then at the end you can ask me any questions. Every question they asked, he gave no answer at all. Did he answer one question, seriously speaking? Or did he just say, I don't know and I can't release that information? For every single question possible. He really just pulled that one off. Drake done paid him, bro.
P-A-U-L, and the last name is K.
All right, we continue to follow breaking news from the Bridle Path neighborhood this morning, where Toronto police just updated their investigation at Drake's home. Police tell us they acknowledge the amount of public interest around this story.
But that home is...
several questions remaining at this time. 2 a.m., that is when police got the call.
That house is
about
massive.
Shooting just outside the home. That is where they found a male suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Toronto police now confirming that male was working at as a security guard outside the home. Police also saying the suspects were seen in a vehicle. They cannot speak to a motive. They cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time as well. Our CB24's Courtney Heels is following the story very closely, and she joins us live from outside Drake's home with the very latest. Courtney.
And Lena, we just heard from police acknowledging there is a lot of interest in this shooting investigation that they're looking into at this time.
You know? Courtney kind of cute. I'm not going well. You know what I'm saying? They did a good job of picking their news reporter.
As you say, still a lot of questions. We don't know if Drake was home. We also don't know the motive. Officers saying they're treating this like any other investigation right now. Also acknowledging they do have video of this incident. They know there's a vehicle involved for the suspect or suspects who fired at the security guard. What we learned, the security guard standing outside of the home, Drake's home, just outside of the gates. This individual injured as a result of the shooting rushed to hospital. He is still in hospital with what are described as serious injuries, and police, of course, will be speaking with that investigator. But there's a lot they're still not saying. What we did hear, they say that members of Drake's team cooperating with the team who are looking here into exactly what unfolded. And again, they'll be going over that surveillance video. Obviously, we have some questions for police on what they were able to describe, why they aren't able to describe the vehicle, for example, involved in this. They just aren't sharing that right now because they're going over the quality of that video and seeing what else they can share. But a pretty significant update in the sense where, Lena, you mentioned this. We now know it was a security guard standing outside of Drake's home who was shot at. This was at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And for anybody just joining us now, this is the Bridle Path area. This is Park Lane Circle. This is the street Drake lives on. Just behind me here, that's his home. There's still a lot of officers behind me here and a really significant police presence, not only just out on the street, but also in the courtyard area where there is a lot of yellow police tape inside, and officers, officer we just heard from, unable to speak to what they're doing on the property. But again, we know members of Drake's team working with police on this. And
all I can say right now is that something is cooking up in the pot. Something. I don't know what it is, but something's cooking up. Because this entire situation, right after the beef, something's cooking up right now.
That it was a security guard who was injured seriously as a result of this shooting. For motive, still questions on that. They're not speculating. They obviously knew we had questions about this back and forth, this beef that's been going on with another very well-known rap artist, Kendrick Lamar, asked if there's any influence here, anything to suggest there's a connection. They say they don't know, and they're not saying anything on that just yet. So we'll have to wait and see if there is anything further to add to this, but pretty concerning for anybody who lives around here. And still, we don't know if Drake was home when this happened. So we'll see if maybe more information becomes available on that front, Lena.
Absolutely. And it is really important to note, Courtney, that investigators say they have video of the incident. They're not releasing that to the public at this time. And they're also not saying much about the suspects they're looking for. But they do have video.
Yeah, there was the question, you know, you say you have video of this incident. They're really not saying much. In fact, there was even a question, so was this a drive-by? It certainly sounds like it. You've got a suspect vehicle involved in this, one person or a couple of individuals, and the fact that the person was outside. They're just not getting into the specifics of that. And they also say they're still going over some of that video. I'd imagine to ensure they get the best quality video, maybe identify more on the vehicle involved. We don't have any description on that, Lena. We don't have a color, make, even a direction for that matter. We just know this all happened at 2 in the morning. It would have been quiet in this neighborhood at that time. And what we're showing with you now on your screen, this is the video we captured from...
Bro, look how small this dude is compared to this front yard. That joint is colossal. And I mean, if you guys want any type of motivation, you have to keep in mind that Drake does have neighbors that aren't necessarily celebrities. So, you know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't live in a house that freaking big. That joint is freaking huge. But the reality is you could get to a point, make some good business moves and come across some opportunities where you can be able to have a house like that.
Chopper 24 when
Because
investigators...
not everyone who has money is a celebrity.
Were in the courtyard area, the front property of Drake's home, and now what we know, of course, this shooting happened just outside of the gates. You can actually kind of see that from where I am. It is a little difficult to make that out, Lena, and I say that because we are only able to get so close, and they've blocked off the street, and there's a lot of press here, of course, too. This is a big story. A lot of people curious about and want to know what happened.
Yeah, and I'm sure the people in that neighborhood want to know what happened, Courtney. Any reaction from people that live there?
Not really. I mean, this isn't your typical neighborhood. We're talking about mansions. This is an affluent neighborhood. Even the homes, to get access to a front door, for example, you're walking up like a winding driveway, or there are gates in place. So it's not as simple as going door knocking to get some reaction. I talked to a couple of people who work in this area. Obviously, they're surprised, but they didn't really know anything about what happened. I talked to someone who works the property next door. They didn't have much to say in terms of what unfolded. They didn't hear anything, see anything, but obviously really surprised to show up to work this morning and see such a heavy police presence, and that is the case, right? We're talking about yellow police tape.
All right, I want to know what you guys think about this entire situation. there's only so many options that it can be. It can be a crazy fan. It could be a crazy fan that wanted to pull up, like a crazy Kendrick Lamar fan that wanted to pull up and start getting crazy. That's option number one. It could be Kendrick Lamar sending a hitter to Drake's house, which I doubt he did. I don't think, because he kind of already won the rap battle. I doubt he would even want to take it further. If there's one person that wants to take it further, it would be Drake, because he's kind of taking that L. So option number three, it could be Drake taking it further than just the rap and kind of setting up this whole thing as a stage, because he has some sort of plot or story that he's going to cook up to have some sort of comeback to this rap battle. Or he just wants to take the attention off the rap, and there's just shooting in front of his house. Or the incident, just regularly happened. I don't know who did it, but someone just did it. Dude got shot, and it could be left at that. If you have any other ideas of what could possibly happen, or any idea that I just listed that you kind of side with, comment that down below. You know what I'm saying? Because this is very, very interesting right here. Make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, especially if you made it to this point of the video. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. The same way you're going to catch me in the next one.